Friend, I'm going to show you how sometimes I get from the airport to the cruise port for $3 or less. I get this question all the time. How do you get between cruise ports? Because let's be real, living on cruise ships full time isn't just about cruises. It's everything that happens in between the cruises that takes strategy, planning, and honestly, sometimes a little bit of courage. I've taken city buses, luxury buses, Amtrak trains, streetcars, metros, Brightline, trolley, cruise shuttles, Uber, and I've even walked up to 2 miles with all my luggage like a stubborn mule. If it exists, I've probably ridden it. In this video, I'll give you a real look at how I actually get between ports, what works, what doesn't, what's budget friendly, and what I'd never do again. And if you've ever dreamed about living full-time on cruise ships, this is the stuff no one ever tells you about. Hey y'all, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I'm Linnell. I sold everything and now I live on cruise ships full-time. If this video is a blessing to you, I want to encourage you to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and then turn on notifications. Hit the bell for all notifications so that you never ever miss another video. And follow me on my journey from poverty to paradise. So, I'm at Penn Station in Jersey. I'm about as lost as somebody could be. I've been on 3 buses. And these people keep telling me to transfer to a certain bus, and then I transfer, and then the bus say this is the last stop. And then I can't stay on that bus, and they don't tell me where to transfer. And these people are the rudest people I've ever seen in my life. So mean, so rude. Ask a question, they yell at you. I'm ready to go home. Home as in my cruise ship.
Hello. Just coming in.
New Jersey, why y'all so mean? I really don't even know where to go. When I finish one cruise and have to get to the next one, here's exactly how I decide. 1, price. Even though I'm on a budget, I still want to be responsible with my resources. 2, distance. A 2-mile walk is doable in good weather. A 20-mile walk? No sir, no ma'am. And if it's cold, dark, or rainy, even a 5-minute walk is out of the question when I'm walking with everything that I own. 3, luggage. I carry everything I own. That affects every decision. 4, simplicity. If something is too complicated, I ain't got time for that. 5, safety, especially when I'm in a new city or country. Sometimes flights are unavoidable, especially with my international schedule. I've done short hops like Orlando to Miami, as well as longer ones like Phoenix to New York, and also from Barcelona to Vietnam. The pros, it's the fastest way to get between faraway ports. There are tons of flight options for major cruise cities. It's great for earning rewards, especially with your travel credit cards. I mostly use American Airlines card because their flights are reasonably priced and I don't get charged baggage fees. The cons? It's the most expensive way to travel. Maybe. That Amtrak train thing might be along with it. Luggage rules are totally annoying. Sometimes there are tight connections which causes unnecessary stress for a full-time cruiser. Cruise ports and airports are rarely close to each other. The Red Coach luxury bus. If you've never heard of the Red Coach, it's a Florida luxury bus company, and the first time I was on it, it felt like a first-class airplane seat on wheels. I first took it last year from Miami to Tampa, and it was only $25. I've since taken it from Fort Lauderdale to Orlando, and again from Orlando to Atlanta, and I would absolutely use it again. Why I love it. They have reclining seats, it's quiet, it's a smooth ride, it's very easy with luggage, much less expensive than flying, and they have Wi-Fi. The downsides, it's only available in certain parts of Florida and it goes to Atlanta. Another downside is that it's obviously not as fast as flying, and of course you can't get off at the stops. One exception was when the bus driver was super early, and so he let us take a 15-minute break over at a 7-Eleven convenience store. They have bathrooms on the bus, but it's tiny, kind of like, picture the airplane lavatory, but in the back of the bus. But all of the ones that I've been on, unfortunately, the sinks weren't working. They didn't have water in the sinks. So I make sure I bring either some soap or some hand sanitizer. City buses. Yes, I often take city buses. And let me tell you, so far, they've all been great. Mostly all. In Orlando, the Lynx bus system is $1.25 and honestly not bad at all. I've been taking buses in Orlando since I was 4 years old, way before they had a contest to name the system Lynx, so I'm very familiar with most of the routes. LA. Technically, I haven't taken a bus in LA, but I've taken several buses in Long Beach. The things that surprised me the most were how friendly and helpful the drivers are, and also how all the passengers say thank you to every driver. It's so adorable. I even had a driver pull over to the side, call the transit office to see which CVS stores was closest so I could transfer to the right bus. Who does that? I didn't have any cash on me, but I really wanted to give him a cash tip. It was pretty straightforward catching the bus in Fort Lauderdale since the bus to my hotel also stopped 1 block from the cruise port. The pros of riding buses. 1, they are the least expensive of all the types of transportation other than walking. So it's really good if you're budget minded. The routes often connect right to the cruise terminals or very close. The cons, they're slower than taking an Uber, of course. And sometimes they get crowded, and when I have luggage, it's kind of awkward when I'm the only one on the bus with luggage. It's okay when I'm taking a bus from the airport because everybody else got luggage too. Another thing is that the buses aren't really luggage friendly because them drivers, they be hitting those curves like they're auditioning for Fast and Furious 11. Safety varies depending on the area and time of day, but so far, I've always felt safe. The exception was when I went to Walmart in Seattle. Someone got on the bus with Cujo, and that dog was foaming at the mouth so bad, I thought my death was going to be in the next episode of the first 48. Amtrak trains. If you followed me for any amount of time, then you know I like the Amtrak train, but I'm not really a fan of it. I do like that I can sit, relax, edit videos, and the ride is usually scenic. I've taken Amtrak between several major port cities. I took the Coast Starlight between Seattle and LA, which is one of the, supposedly, I haven't seen them all, but it's supposed to be one of the most beautiful rides in America, especially when going through Seattle and Oregon and seeing the snow-capped mountains. Why I like Amtrak. They do have really big seats in coach. There's lots of room for luggage. The ride is mostly scenic and is very relaxing. And everybody mind their business. It drops you right into city center, so it's not too difficult to be able to find means from the train terminal to the cruise ports. The downsides. The U.S. train system is super unreliable. Delays happen so often that it's risky, so I have to book it so I get there to my cruise port destination at least 24 hours in advance. That's not ideal when you're on a tight turnaround schedule between cruises. I also don't like the fact that they say they have Wi-Fi. That Wi-Fi don't work. Do not rely on that. I've taken streetcars in New Orleans and Tampa. These feel like stepping back in time in a good way. In New Orleans, the St. Charles streetcar is very iconic. It's slow, it's charming, and it's cheap, but it's not practical for luggage. Now, I have taken the streetcar from my hotels in New Orleans a few times, from my hotel over to the Riverwalk, which is an easy walk to the cruise terminal. The problem is the Riverwalk is on the 2nd story and it doesn't have an elevator on the end by the port, so it's kind of tricky to navigate, but of course I figured it out. What you have to do is you have to take the elevator that is before you get to the cruise port terminal. It's the one right outside the food court. So when you're in the food court, you go out to the next doors and you take that elevator down, and then it's a short walk to the end of the Riverwalk, which as soon as the Riverwalk ends, that's where you're getting on the ship. The streetcar was perfect getting me there, but luggage off and on was so annoying. It's not easy. Thankfully, so far, all of the streetcar operators on the streetcars that I've been on were strong men, and I didn't even ask them, but they immediately, that good Southern hospitality, they immediately offered to help me bring my luggage onto the streetcar. In Tampa, the Tico streetcar is actually useful. It's free and connects major areas, but again, not for luggage. It's not for hopping between ports. I've used it when I was on back-to-back cruises in Tampa, and it took me to places like Starbucks. I went to Publix. I went to a nail salon. You can also take it to Ybor City, but that's not my vibe. The Metro rails. When I was in Barcelona, I loved their metro system once I figured it out. It's clean, it's easy, it's fast, and it's super cheap. My only issue was one time Google Maps had me get off at the wrong stop, and I had to carry all my stuff, including that 50-pound check bag that I had, up 2 flights of stairs, only to realize I was in the wrong place, and I almost cried when I realized I had to bring it all downstairs again. But I survived. Using Barcelona Metro, I have since learned that the best way to get to hotels, tourist sites, and restaurants in Barcelona are using the trains, but also the buses. I've never even tried taking an Uber over when I was in Spain. I took the trains on my first day, but mostly I used buses on my second stay. I've used the LO Metro trains multiple times to and from the airport, Union Station, and both cruise ports. It's not as glamorous, but it gets the job done. And it's the same price as the bus, $1.25. I felt that it was super safe, but during certain times of the day, there is a heavy police presence, which tells me to stay on my toes. And obviously, some things have been going on, or why would the police be there? Overall, metros are an amazing alternative to expensive Uber rides. Next up is Brightline. Brightline is Florida's fancy high-speed rail, and it is super nice. I love that it's still sort of new, so it's very modern, it's clean, and of course, like I said, it's super fast. And it's super luggage friendly. This is one of the easiest ways to travel between cruise ports in Florida. The downsides is pricier than the bus, but it's worth it for the comfort and the speed. Also, of course, if there are traffic accidents on the rails, like on my very first trip, it's just like Amtrak, and you'll have to decide if you have time to wait for the delay or find an alternative means of transportation. I guess that could happen on any of these forms of transportation, right? Even walking, something could happen on your route that you're walking on. The trolley and metro train in Miami. In Miami, the trolley is free. You know that's my favorite word. The Miami trolley is such an underrated gem. It's clean, it's reliable, and it hits every major neighborhood. If you're staying in Miami pre-cruise, this can save you a lot of money. When coming in from the airport, it's super easy to take the train to Brickell or to Government City and transfer over to the free Coral trolley to get to the cruise ports. I normally get off in Brickell instead of Government Center because in Brickell there's a Publix right there. That way I can use the bathroom, I can freshen up, and if I need to buy any groceries or snacks before I get on the ship, I can do that there at Publix. Cruise shuttles are hit or miss depending on the port. What I like about them, they're super easy to book and pay on the cruise line app. They're designed for people with luggage. They take you right to the terminal. What I don't like is kind of expensive for what you get. It can be crowded, and if you don't get one of the seats up front, it can feel cramped. You have to go on the times that the ship says to go. Whereas on buses and metro trains, they run typically every 15 to 30 minutes. But with the ship shuttles, you have to wait on the ship's shuttle schedule. The first one might not leave the ship until 9 a.m., which means you shouldn't book an early flight. And from the airport, the shuttle might not leave until noon, which means you've missed about 3 to 4 hours of time that you could have been on the ship. I use cruise ship shuttles mostly when other alternatives are either too expensive, like going from the Orlando airport to the cruise terminal, or if I'm on a tight schedule, like I'm trying to catch a flight on the at the LA airport, and I don't never know how LA traffic is gonna be, so I don't really want to risk some kind of Uber or metro train. So yeah, I know the cruise shuttle buses are gonna be pretty reliable, getting you there on time. Walking with luggage. This is where a lot of people look at me like I have absolutely lost my mind. But yes, I've walked up to 2 miles with all my luggage, mainly in Long Beach, but also in Fort Lauderdale. Sometimes it's just because the weather is nice and I need to get my steps in. Sometimes it's because the route is safe and simple. But sometimes I look up on the app and Uber is charging like $30 to go from 2 miles. And I'm like, nah, bro, it's a nice enough day. I'm just going to keep my money. I'm on a budget. What I like about it, of course, I get my steps in. It's peaceful, and I'm not waiting around for anyone or anything. I can move at my own pace. I can go fast, I can go slow, I can sit, take breaks, whatever I want to do. What I don't like, if I underestimate the weather and it gets too hot outside or it starts to rain, when there are hills and my legs remind me that I'm getting up in age. And sometimes there are really bad sidewalks or construction on the path. Like when I was in Midtown Atlanta and I walked over to the Amtrak train station, there was a lot of cracks and construction, so I had to lift my 50-pound check bag over those cracks and stuff like that. It wasn't too bad. I survived. But yeah, that is one of the downsides. And of course, there's the option to use the Uber or Lyft, which honestly, in my opinion, they are way overpriced. I have used Uber and Lyft. I've used a regular cab driver before from Fort Lauderdale, from the cruise port to the airport. But in my opinion, they all overpriced. I don't like small talk, and most of the time, well, I would say maybe 50-50. The driver wants to chit chat, and I don't want to chit chat with you. I ain't never gonna see you again. That's just my personality. But the main thing is it's overpriced. So yeah, Uber is an option, but I try to avoid it if and when I can. Here's how I rank all these transportation methods from best to worst for a full-time cruiser with luggage. Number 1, Brightline. Fast, safe, luggage friendly. I will take it every time I get a chance. Number 2, Red Coach Luxury Bus. Great value, super comfortable, great Wi-Fi. Number 3, flights. They are a necessary evil for long distances. Number 4, the Metro Rail are great for getting around the cities. Number 5, city buses. Inexpensive, but not really convenient. Number 6, trolleys and streetcars. Fun, but again, not practical for port to port and not really luggage friendly. Number 7, Amtrak. Beautiful scenery, but it's just not my thing. Number 8, walking, but only if the weather is good. And lastly, Uber. Again, it's my last choice for transportation. So if you're planning to bounce between cruise ports, here's what I tell you. Plan ahead, know your luggage limits, screenshot your route, give yourself extra time, and don't pick the cheapest option just because it's cheap. Pick the one that makes your day easier and makes the most sense for you. If you want more videos about the reality of living full-time on cruise ships, you can watch my playlist right here after this video ends. If you're interested in how I set up my finances to fund this lifestyle and how you can retire without millions, check out my course in the video description. And if you want coaching on how to grow a YouTube channel and a supportive community to help you along, join the YouTube After 40 course. Link is in the video description. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have an amazing day, and I hope to see you on the next cruise.